All right, the pentatonic scale. Yes, we rely on it. It's such a cool scale to have because most things musical are going to work using that one or two shapes that you might have learned a long time ago. And that's great, but it results in your solos always sounding the same. Well, there is a trick, a visualization trick, which will allow you to still phrase using that pentatonic scale as a basis, but still highlight the changes without tons of harmony and tons of new scales to learn. It's really, really simple. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. You're going to love it. That's coming up. Hi, my name is David Wallerman. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players like you find your voice on the instrument, develop it, to tell your own musical story. And today we are exploring the blues again, because there are so many things that we can discover with the blues and apply those things to any other musical genre. And also we are in Blues Week today because Robert Redman, a good friend of mine, and I have released a bundle, an exclusive bundle that you can only get until the end of this month, December 2017. After that, it's too late, and you're going to get tons of courses, blues courses and all that. So anyways, I'll tell you more about that later. Let's get to the lesson. And today we're going to take a look at a very simple blues in A. 3 chords. We have an A7 chord, a D7, and an E7. So it goes kind of something like this. Very traditional blues type of thing. That's your A chord here. So if you play that A7, everything works. And then we have the D chord. Very traditional 12-bar blues. And typically what players would do over this is take the key, which is A, and play A minor pentatonic. Sounds familiar? It all works, right? No problem on all 3 chords. Everything is going to work. But there is a better way, maybe. Because again, if you just use that, you're going to hear things like this, or things like this, which are cool licks, but they're going to work on so many chord progressions that if you were to take this solo and apply it to another backing track, it probably would work also. So we're going to do it the clever way so that when you're playing that lead, improvising, you actually hear the chord changes without the backing track. And that's where magical things happen. Kind of like the intro that I was playing. You could hopefully hear that chord progression, and you can re-listen to that if you want, without me having to use the backing track. So how does it work? Well, we're going to focus on a narrow area of the fretboard. I like to keep things, contained usually. Yes, the 3-note per string is awesome to go from one area of the fretboard to the next and expand, but we're going to keep things narrow because it's going to force you to really think about the notes you're targeting in one area of the fretboard. Then we can expand if we want to. So we're going to use this area of the fretboard right here, which is typically what players would do if we're in A. We have an A on the low E string 5th fret right here. And usually, over a blues in A, guitar players would just build their first position of minor pentatonic scale. 2 notes per strings, fret 5-8, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 5-8, 5-8. Right, so that contains everything right here in that zone of the fretboard. The backing track is playing 3 chords. These chords can also be contained in that area of the fretboard. We have the A7 that you hear right now, right here. The D7, which is also in that area of the fretboard, right? And back to A. And that area of the fretboard not only has these chords, but also the minor pentatonic scale. Here's that 3rd chord, also in that area of the fretboard, D chord, and so forth. So the trick here is to still use your minor pentatonic scale as to-go scale. That's the comfortable scale that you have on your fingers. That's usually the scale that people can use without really having to think about, and it's easy to express ideas with that scale. But as you're doing this, I want you to mentally visualize those 3 chords in that area of the fretboard that I just covered. So we have, if we look at the first one, you have A7 right here, D7, and E7. Now, those chords, if you look at the first one, it's a 4-note chord, but yes, we're playing more than 4 notes. We're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if we were to look at the intervals, we have a root, major 3rd, 5th, minor 7th, and we'll find these 4 intervals within that chord shape. Same thing goes with the D7 and E7. We have 4 notes. What I want you to do is not to focus on these notes per se, but on the shapes. So I want you to visualize this A7 chord. As you're playing licks in A minor pentatonic, and every once in a while I want you to focus on one of the notes of that chord shape that is not found in that A minor pentatonic shape. So that's where the visualization happens. So if I visualize from the low E string to the high E string frets 5, 7, 5, 6, 5, 5, well, the notes that are unique to that chord shape, that are not found in that A minor pentatonic scale, is this one right here on the 3rd string, 6th fret. All the other ones, 5, 7, 5, 5 on the 2nd string, and 5 on the 2nd string, are found in that A minor pentatonic. So we're going to play our licks, A minor pentatonic. So far, nothing new. Right? But every once in a while, we're going to focus on that new note, which is 3rd string, 6th fret. Maybe we'll land on that. Change of chord here, we'll do the same thing. We're going to visualize this chord shape, which in this case is a D7. So we're starting on the 5th string right now. We have frets 5, 7, 5, 7, 5. If we apply this to our minor pentatonic scale, the notes that are not found in that minor pentatonic scale here is this one right here, 2nd string, 7th fret. The other notes are found in that pentatonic scale. We do have the 5th string, 5th fret. We do also have the 4th string, 7th fret. The next one is also in the minor pentatonic, but this one is not. So this time on that chord, this one right here, we can play A minor pentatonic and focus on that new note. And then back to A. And that note that makes it A7. And then you look at the E7 chord, and you ask yourself the question, which notes from this chord shape are unique to that chord shape and not found in A minor pentatonic? And in this case, that would be this note right here, the 4th string, 6th fret. Okay, so to recap, we're still using the minor pentatonic scale as our to-go scale. That's the one that is comfortable to most, but you can still sound flavorful and more meaningful if you visualize within that shape the chords that you're going through, in this case A7, D7, E7, and ask yourself the question, which of the notes of these chord shapes are unique to that chord shape and not found in our minor pentatonic scale? And you're going to focus on that one, add that one. So on the A7, this is the note that we're looking for. Let me show you the close-up. On the A7, the note we're looking for is on the 3rd string, 6th fret. So you're going to combine your minor pentatonic with that note. On the D7 chord, the note that we're looking at is the 2nd string, 7th fret. So you're going to combine that one with the minor pentatonic scale. And on the E7, the note that we're looking at is this one, 4th string, 6th fret. And you're going to combine A minor pentatonic with that note. Okay, let me demonstrate that. So you're going to hear a lot of minor pentatonic stuff, but every once in a while I'll target one of those additional notes over this backing track that you can get. Also, I'll tell you more about that later for free, of course. But for now, let's give that a try. Here's our A chord. Start with minor pentatonic. A lot of pentatonic. And then I'll focus on that. Back to minor pentatonic. And I'm targeting that new note, which is this one. We're back in A right now. here's the E, and then here's the D, and A, and back to D. And so forth. And then of course you can expand on this by exploring other zones of the fretboards, other positions, but that's kind of the idea, and it's kind of stress-free because all you need to do is visualize those chord shapes, use the scales that you're comfortable playing, pentatonic usually, and then every once in a while embellish that pentatonic by landing or you're using one of the notes, the characteristic notes of those chords you're going through at the same time. It's a really good way to get into more of the focused approach of playing, where instead of bringing everything to a common scale and just, kind of like going for it, right? Which we're trying to avoid doing that. We're really targeting the changes so that eventually when you do play, you can hear what's going on in the back without having to use the backing track. Okay, so that's kind of the idea. This backing track is available for free. All you need to do is visit the link below, enter your email address, and I'll be sending you that right away. And also, if you are into blues and you want to further your education, I highly suggest that you don't miss this opportunity. As of shooting this video, there are 3 days left. That's it. After that, sorry. But here's the deal. A friend, Robert Redman, and I teach, as you know, and we combined forces together to bring you a blues bundle made of, I can't remember how many courses are on there. It's a lot. There are dozens of hours of instruction, blues instructions, tons of blues backing tracks. It's all focused on the blues improvisation, and even if you're not a pure core blues player, this bundle has a goldmine of information and good, valuable things that you can practice to make your playing better and to get closer to who you want to be on the instrument. So this is a collection of courses for everyone. There's some theory, there's some technique, there's some improvisation tips, and you're going to get some courses taught by myself and some from Robert Redman. And last but not least, you can get all these at over 80% off. It's really a killer deal. Anyways, check it out. I'll leave the link below. Thank you so much. If this was your first visit to this channel, you should subscribe, because every single week, 3 videos just like this one come out, helping guitar players like you and me find our voice on the instrument, develop that voice to tell our own personal musical story. This is what it's all about. Thanks so much for watching this. Share this around, and remember, nobody can play the way you play on the guitar. Just like when you're talking, people can recognize you. It will be the same with the instrument if you follow, the steps. Anyways, thanks for watching this. I'll see you next time. Practice well.